John 20:23. On tinon aphete tas hamartias, aphaontai autois, on tinon kratete ke kratentai. I'll remind you that right before this, Jesus was in the room with the closed doors with his disciples, and he breathed on them and said, "Receive the Holy Spirit." And then he continues speaking, and we should note that we have two conditional statements, but instead of on, we have on standing in. It's a bit strange, but sometimes this happens, and the grammars talk about it. So we should most likely understand this on as standing in for on, introducing a third-class conditional statement. So if, so our lengthened vowel, that's from aphiemi, just the aorist subjunctive of aphiemi. If you all forgive the sins of any, notice that's a genitive plural, we might say sins of any people or something like that. If you forgive the sins of any people, they have been forgiven to them. This autois is probably best understood as dative of advantage. This aphaontai is a perfect, passive, indicative, third-person plural, right? Because the subject of it is the sins. The sins have been forgiven to them or for their benefit. And if you all retain, implied the sins of any, they have been retained, or they will be retained. Even though these two verbs here I'm circling are in the perfect, obviously with this third-class conditional statement, it's referring to something that hasn't yet happened. If you forgive any of their sins, we might say in English, they'll be forgiven. If you retain the sins of any, they will be retained. Just a little statement on the meaning of this, read within the Gospel of John and the whole New Testament. We might paraphrase, and Jesus is saying, insofar as you accurately represent me and the gospel, when you proclaim to people that their sins are forgiven on the basis of who I am, what I've done for them, then they're forgiven as they believe that and follow me. And if you announce to them this gospel and they reject it, and you proclaim to them their sins are retained and they are not forgiven, then you are speaking the truth.